Good morning, travel jazzman scholar. I was listening to some music this morning, of which I was one of the ensemble players. It was a quartet with a bass player, a drummer, and a saxophonist, and it's a very nice track. I was listening to just an excerpt of the saxophone solo, but the band was really tight, and it's just an expression of a lot of beauty, and it came out of a lot of passion and dedication and hard work by the four musicians, myself and John and Rob and Zoltan, and recorded 15 years ago. But what struck me was how in the midst of all that music there was all this human frailty, there was all this sense of unworthiness and very self-critical of our playing, all of us individually. And so we all kind of stumble into the band there, and we've got all our own issues and all our own dramas and all our own sense of inadequacy. And then we play our music, and we don't feel particularly great. It's kind of nice to do, but we're not like blown away by it. But I listen to it real objectively, much as I can, 15 years later, and I've heard it many times, and we're all, we're making something really beautiful, and it's just there. And what struck me was how it happened in the midst of all this human frailty and human inadequacy and human sense of unworthiness, and I guess I had this sense that we humans, we do our best. We stumble around the globe in the midst of post-agricultural, sedentary insanity. What I like to call I like to borrow from Paul Shepard, our ontogenetic crippling that has taken place in our growing up alienated from wild nature. All of the inputs that normally accompany the psychological maturing of the Homo sapien have been removed mostly. So we grow up in a very different context than we evolved in over 2.5 million years as bipedal hominids, not to get too far off track. My point is just that in the midst of all this sense of unworthiness and unwelcomeness and inadequateness and sort of clumsiness that we feel sort of marks us as people, whether it's clumsiness emotionally or in terms of how we express ourselves in our work, in the midst of that, great beauty exists and is born all the time. And maybe that's just the nature of it, is that we are essentially in the creation of beauty, and we just can't see it. But that's just the nature of who we are. And that was my thought for this morning. Travel Jazzman Scholar. Thanks.